Have you ever paused and wondered, why is it that the visions that burn so brightly inside your heart, the ones that feel almost tangible in your imagination, remain so far away in the landscape of your reality? You see them with crystal clarity: love, freedom, health, success. They glimmer in your mind like stars, yet when you reach for them, they dissolve like mist between your fingers. You push harder, chase endlessly, try to bend life into shape, and still, the very things you long for seem to run just a step ahead, always out of reach. But what if effort was never the missing key? What if the true bridge between longing and living has always been hidden in the way you perceive? There is a secret spoken for centuries by mystics and now echoed by science. What you hold within the sanctuary of your mind, with clarity, with repetition, with raw emotion, will eventually carve its way into the shape of your life. This is not fantasy. It is not daydreaming. Visualization is not about pretending. It is about weaving the invisible into form, aligning the unseen with the seen. When practiced with depth, it is nothing less than the architect's blueprint of your destiny, and yet most wander through this power unconsciously. Their inner cinema plays in fragments, unfocused, unfinished, so their outer life reflects the same haze. The question then becomes, how do you visualize in a way that makes the invisible tangible, that transforms dream into lived reality? Every creation begins twice, first as a seed in the mind, then as a structure in the world. An architect sketches before the first stone is laid. A composer hears the music before the first note is struck. In the same way, visualization is the mind's sacred design, blueprints whispered into the very fabric of existence. You are not merely entertaining yourself with imagination. You are planting seeds in the fertile soil of your subconscious, and those seeds will shape the garden of your tomorrow. This is why you sometimes feel trapped, as if running in place. Without a clear inner design, life recycles old patterns, repeating the same loops, leaving you circling familiar ground. Visualization is the exit door, the hidden bridge between what feels far away and what can finally be lived. But this bridge rests on a foundation, and that foundation is clarity. A vague dream, "I want success," or "I just want to be happy," is like handing an architect a blank page and expecting a cathedral to rise. So ask yourself, what does happiness look like for you? Is it the glow of radiant health, the joy of meaningful work, the freedom of travel, the closeness of family? And what shape does success take in your imagination? Is it recognition, contribution, or a life lived entirely on your terms? Your mind, like a navigator, requires precise coordinates. The sharper you draw the inner picture, the stronger its magnetic pull becomes. But clarity alone is not enough. A single image imagined once is only a spark. It flickers, then fades. Consistency is the breath that keeps the vision alive. Each time you return to your dream, painting it in vivid detail, your subconscious absorbs it more deeply, until one day it no longer feels like fantasy. It feels natural, familiar, almost inevitable. Just as no garden blooms after a single drop of water, your future cannot grow from one fleeting glimpse. It needs steady nourishment, a rhythm of return, a gentle persistence that allows the seed of vision to root deeply into the soil of your subconscious. Clarity gives the dream its form. Consistency breathes it alive. Together, they weave the true architecture of the mind, programming your inner compass, guiding you along the path that was always meant to be yours. The Buddha once whispered, "The mind is everything. What you think, you become." Visualization is the conscious act of choosing what your mind is allowed to become and engraving that choice so deeply that reality itself has no option but to rearrange in response. When you return to the image with precision and devotion, it stops being daydreaming and begins to crystallize as destiny. It becomes a design so detailed, so familiar, that life itself starts honoring its blueprint. But there is a deeper step still. Seeing alone is too shallow. To ignite the subconscious fully, you must step inside the picture. You must inhabit it with your senses, with your emotions, with your whole being. Close your eyes and walk into the vision. Do not just look, listen, feel, smell, taste. If you imagine standing in a snowy mountain valley, you are not merely watching the frozen landscape. You breathe in the sting of cold air against your cheeks. You hear the crunch of snow beneath each step. You smell the resin of pine carried through the wind. You feel the weight of a coat wrapped warmly around you, holding back the chill. The more detail you weave into the scene, the more convincing it becomes. Your subconscious cannot tell the difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically lived. That is the secret. To your inner world, both are real. This is not fantasy, it is training. Each vivid rehearsal is a lesson you are giving your subconscious, teaching it which version of reality to trust, which future to lean toward. Science echoes this truth. Brain scans reveal that when a person vividly imagines an action, the same neural circuits light up as though the body itself were in motion. Athletes rely on this power, rehearsing routines again and again in their minds until performance sharpens in the real world, all without moving a muscle. And so can you. You can rehearse the very life you ache for, standing on a stage and speaking with confidence, crossing the threshold into a new home, celebrating a milestone that once seemed impossible. Every time you live it in your mind, your body and spirit prepare in advance. The future becomes less a possibility and more a memory waiting to be replayed. Daily devotion is the quiet rhythm that strengthens the rehearsal of the mind. One vivid immersion may inspire, but it is not enough to rewire the roots of the subconscious. Just as a tree grows not from one rainfall, but from the steady rhythm of seasons, your vision matures through repetition. Each return to the inner image is like watering the seed. And when you add sensory detail, the soil grows even richer. The more you revisit your vision with all senses awake, the more natural it becomes. Almost like muscle memory, you begin to embody a future that is not yet unfolded. And when the real moment arrives, it no longer feels foreign. You respond with ease, with confidence, because in truth, you have lived this moment many times before within yourself. At this point, visualization stops being a distant dream. It becomes a memory waiting for you to step back into. James Allen once said, "You are today where your thoughts have brought you. You will be tomorrow where your thoughts take you." These words are not philosophy alone. They are instruction for life. Training your inner senses is what gives thought its weight. Each detail you add is a brushstroke across the canvas of your mind. Over time, that canvas ceases to be abstract. It sharpens into a portrait so vivid that the outer world begins to echo it. What began as imagination becomes rehearsal. What began as rehearsal becomes lived reality. And here the subconscious begins its quiet work. If the conscious mind is the artist sketching with intention, the subconscious is the craftsman shaping with hands unseen. It does not argue. It does not analyze. It simply accepts the impressions it is fed and begins turning them into form. Whether you pour into it fear or faith, confusion or clarity, it takes the material and builds. It listens most closely not to logic, but to repetition, to imagery, to emotion. This is why sensory-rich visualization carries so much force. You are feeding your subconscious exact instructions, a living map of your future. To the subconscious, there is no difference between what is vividly imagined and what is physically lived. Both are commands, both are blueprints. When you visualize love, abundance, vitality, or success with full sensory immersion, the subconscious records it as truth. And once truth is planted, it begins aligning your awareness, your habits, your very instincts with that image. Suddenly, you notice doors that were invisible before. You feel magnetically drawn to paths that echo your vision. From the outside, it may look like luck, but in truth, it is the compass of your subconscious steering you toward the destination you chose. Once a compass is set, the needle cannot help but point to its North Star, no matter the storms, no matter the distractions. This is the gift of visualization. Without it, the subconscious drifts aimlessly, absorbing random impressions from the noise of the world. With it, the subconscious is given direction, and once directed, it carries you with a quiet certainty toward the life you chose long before you touched it. Luck is not random. What many call luck is often the quiet alignment of the subconscious with the inner rehearsals we repeat in silence. Every turning point in history, Every invention that changed the course of humanity, every personal transformation has walked this very path. Long before the first plane lifted from the earth, it had already taken flight in the imagination of the Wright brothers. Long before a symphony reached human ears, its notes were already alive and breathing in the unseen world of the composer. The subconscious is the hidden architect. It builds without noise, shaping visions into form, taking the abstract and patiently weaving it into reality. Its language is not words but images, impressions, and emotions. Visualization is the script we hand to this inner architect. Each time you hold the picture of your desired reality with consistency, you are laying the blueprint of a new life. And brick by brick, the subconscious begins its invisible construction until what was once only imagined becomes the ground you stand on. But this building process is rarely immediate. Just as a seed disappears beneath the soil long before any sign of life touches the surface, visualization initiates growth in realms hidden from the eye. The gardener trusts this mystery. He waters, nurtures, and waits, never doubting that the seed is at work beneath the earth. In the same way, you must trust the unseen hand of your subconscious as it rearranges patterns, reshapes beliefs, and quietly aligns people, circumstances, and opportunities on your behalf. Patience is not passivity. It is a radical confidence in what cannot yet be measured. This is the place where most give up. They hold a vision for a time, but when no instant result appears, they surrender to doubt. Yet the soil never reveals its work until the roots are strong enough to sustain life above ground. The subconscious will not deliver a sprout before the foundation is ready. To abandon the practice too soon is like pulling a seed from the soil to see if it has grown, killing its very chance to bloom. But for those who trust, the moment of emergence always arrives. And when it does, it rarely comes with fanfare. It often arrives quietly, disguised as an unexpected encounter, a sudden inspiration, or a door opening that you did not even know existed. These are the first sprouts of your inner vision breaking into the world of form. A person appears in your path, as if placed there by invisible hands. A thought rises uninvited, yet it points you toward a door you had never seen. Moments you once ignored now reveal themselves as bridges to the life you asked for. These are not coincidences, they are whispers. The first tender signs that what you rehearsed in silence is pressing into form. Your inner movie is now touching the screen of reality. But to notice them, you must be attuned, because the universe always begins in whispers before it speaks in thunder. Health, wealth, relationships, all follow this rhythm. The body bends slowly but faithfully to images of vitality you carry. Money flows where the mind has been trained to expect it. Love enters where you have already declared yourself worthy. Every vision is a seed, and like any seed, it asks for patience, trust, and daily care. Visualization is the watering. Belief is the sunlight. Doubt, the weeds you must pull out again and again. And when the first sprouts push through the soil of your reality, they must be met with action. Because without action, even the clearest vision remains nothing more than a sketch on fragile paper. Visualization prepares the mind, but your choices, your movements, give the dream weight in this world of matter. Think of it as a stage. You have rehearsed, you know the lines, you have felt the triumph in your bones. But when the curtain rises, you must walk onto the stage. You must perform. Every choice you make is a brushstroke on the canvas of your becoming. Without the stroke, the picture never escapes imagination. Vision and action are not separate. They are the twin wings of manifestation. One without the other cannot fly. Norman Vincent Peale once said, "Change your thoughts and you change your world." But thought is only the beginning. It must be embodied. It must be lived. When you see it vividly, feel it deeply, and move in harmony with that future, the invisible and the visible converge. Life no longer feels random. You are no longer a passenger. You are the artist of your own unfolding. Visualization plants the seed. Action gives it sunlight. And together, they make the imagined inevitable. This is not a trick of the mind. It is the sacred power of consciousness sculpting matter. Inside you is the blueprint, the brush, the canvas, and the courage to bring it alive. So see with clarity, feel with devotion, act with faith, and watch as the masterpiece of your life unfolds before your very eyes. If this message stirred something within you, let it stay. Let it remind you that you are not waiting for your life to happen. You are creating it. And if you're ready for more, join me here, because your quantum shift has only just begun.